This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, April 6th. First up, to clip or not to clip. Scalable takes a look at the world of paid clipping. Content creators like Neon and Clavicular have made headlines by hiring video editors to produce clips across multiple platforms. According to upcoming Sounds Profitable research, 86% of podcast listeners consume clips on at least one platform. Of those, 81% say clips lead them to a specific episode at least, quote, some of the time, end quote. Audiochuck CEO Matt Starker advises a measured approach to clip creation to ensure podcasters don't give away so much content it undermines the point of watching the full episode. Next up, redefining what's a hit podcast, but does it even matter? Hill Insights President Paul Riismandel examines what defines a hit in modern podcasting. The Joe Rogan Experience, the #1 most listened to podcast on full market reach-based charts, has only been listened to by 20% of the U.S. podcast audience in the past month, according to Triton Digital and Hill Insights Demos Plus survey data from Q4 of 2025. As podcasting reaches mainstream audiences, fewer serial-style breakout hits emerge. As the Podcast Landscape 2025 noted, the monthly podcast audience consumes an average of 3.4 podcasts regularly. So even if someone is consuming a hit show, there are several others also waiting in their phone to be consumed. Next up, evolving modern upfronts. AdExchanger senior editor Alyssa Boyle writes about YouTube's NewFronts presentation, one that made a concerted push to unlock budgets normally earmarked for TV. Traditionally, upfronts have a clear divide between talent and publishers. Talent would focus on replicating the authenticity and appeal of their product, while publishers would stick to the jargon and numbers of what the content is and why it should be invested in. Boyle found the YouTube NewFronts presentation a new experience, as creators would drop marketing terms normally reserved for publisher presentations. Outcomes are also becoming in vogue as advertisers come to upfronts looking for content that provides outcomes rather than broad reach. Amazon appears positioned for this shift with projects like the Prime Video Insights beta program, which launched in November 2025. Next up, the hamster wheel that eats creators. Steve Raizes recounts a recent conversation with two podcasters who find their weekly podcast success comes at the price of not having time to grow the show. One episode's completion triggers the next one's start. Raizes argues that unglamorous admin work and strategy often limit growth, yet most creator advice assumes they have unlimited time. He points to the infrastructure Ashley Flowers built with her company Audiochuck, which established a team that could support a full roster beyond Flowers' own Crime Junkie. And for our final top story, Tribeca Festival 2026 expands podcast lineup. In a sponsored Tube Filter segment, Tribeca Festival announced this June's edition of the festival will feature its, quote, most ambitious podcast slate to date, end quote, including live events featuring Radiolab, the New Yorker Radio Hour, and Let Me Say This. Announced guests include Peter Dinklage, Adam Scott, and Laurie Anderson. This festival's podcast lineup also includes its first expansion into Spanish language programming, including series from La Pública Independiente de la Radio. As for the rest of the news, Western Kentucky University radio station WWHR-FM has partnered with Zeno Media to power the station's digital streaming capabilities. As a former Western Kentucky resident, I'm duty-bound to say, go Hilltoppers. Brian Morrissey has a new special episode of The Rebooting Show looking at the decentralization of TV advertising. A new post from Type C Studios Substack looks at a ominous narrative, proposing narrative podcasts are on the decline or dead already, before recounting a promising experience with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's event celebrating the narrative series Who Blew Up the Guidestones. Podscribe's industry ranker has been updated to cover April 2026 data, including top podcasts by Audio Reach, top publishers by Audio Reach, and top advertisers by estimated spend. And OSHA community content manager Laura Hoffman has a new article acting as a playbook for building a podcast platform growth system that combines organic discoverability and paid amplification, quote, in the right order for the right reasons. Finally, Audio always has appointed Lisa Solman as its new sales director. As a reminder, you can find links to everything I just talked about by clicking the one link in your show notes. That will take you to soundsprofitable.com's episode post for today's issue of The Download, where you can also find every episode of The Download, as well as subscribe to the newsletter version to get issues sent straight to you every day. Today's issue was written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, Molly DeMillier, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis, and I'll see you tomorrow.